I'm Chief Personal Officer of the Grosse Ile Police Department. Today I'm with Detective Ken Fallon, who is an administrator of our DARE program. Ken, can you tell us a little bit about the key points to our program?
Absolutely. As you know, Chief, we've been involved with the DARE program for the last 20 years. And since that time, we've successfully graduated more than 3,000 students. DARE is a drug abuse prevention program that relies heavily on the school district, law enforcement, and parents to help teach our kids about drug problems. DARE is taught in a classroom setting by a uniformed police officer and focuses on several academic and life-building skills, such as communication, handling peer pressure, and decision-making. Students in the DARE program begin to navigate through the curriculum by first meeting their DARE officer and learning about the importance of confidence. Standing up straight, making eye contact, and using a calm, clear voice are vital to developing strong communication skills. Students will be given the ability to stand up for themselves and what they believe in. These skills are enhanced throughout the 10-week program. Students create a DARE box, which is used to facilitate discussions with students regarding the DARE curriculum, preschool in general, or other topics they may be interested in. Students often ask personal questions about the DARE officer about how to deal with certain situations that they may not feel comfortable asking in a group setting. The DARE box promotes a classroom spirit and helps me know what their interests are. The DARE officer will review the rules and requirements for participating in the DARE program, which includes completing the workbook, having good attendance, and writing a one-page essay. Students begin to learn about decision-making and a step-by-step process referred to as define, assess, respond, and evaluate. Students work individually, with a partner, or in a group to help foster the best learning environment possible. Every lesson introduces a new topic. The primary goal of the DARE program is to help students recognize and resist the temptations they may encounter when it comes to alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Through skits, lectures, videos, and other teaching techniques, students learn how drugs can change the way the mind and body work. They learn about the negative consequences alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs can have on their lives and those around them. They are given statistics, real-life stories, and other facts that will remind them of the pitfalls associated with drug use. Self-esteem, assertiveness, media and advertising, and ways to stay in charge are the topics that are covered on a weekly basis. Several lessons are devoted to peer pressure, giving students a chance to learn how to identify and handle influence from their friends and other kids their age. Speaking of friends, we talked at length about the importance of picking the right friends to hang out with and trust. People we call friends often have a great influence on how we dress, act, and treat others. Knowing how to foster a strong friendship is an important foundation to developing social skills. High school students come into the classroom and give the DARE students an opportunity to ask about life as a teenager. Having positive role models encourages our children to strive toward their goals and stay drug-free. It also gives them a chance to hear about the different types of pressures teenagers may face growing up and regarding drug use. Students learn about sports, clubs, dances, and other events that occur in high school. As we come to the conclusion of the program, students are given the assignment of writing a one-page essay on what they learned in DARE. Students comment on what they liked and felt was the most important lessons. They reflect on the importance of saying no to drugs and make a personal pledge to stay drug-free. The students with the best written essays are asked to read them after DARE graduation. This is a very proud moment in the program as students are given the opportunity to express themselves. The DARE graduation ceremony is a great chance for parents, teachers, and other community members to recognize the students for successfully completing the DARE program. It reinforces the fact that our children have a police department and community that supports their decisions to stay drug-free. As the students march across the stage to receive their graduation certificates, you can see the pride they have in themselves. You can also feel the hope that these students will hold true to their promise to stay drug-free. We want to encourage good decision-making, confidence within our children, and a safe, drug-free community. DARE is a program that gives us the advantage of reaching our youth, developing long-lasting and positive relationships, and a foundation to build on.
Although we will have to continue addressing drug abuse after the crime has been committed, we here at the Grosse Ile Police Department resist peer pressure and to say no to drugs is something that the Grosse Ile Police Department will continue to promote. I'm Chief Porcerelli, the Grosse Ile Police Department. Thank you for watching.
Okay, that's the first one.
Ted, I might say good choices in including all those children's photos. Parents are going to want to watch this.
I hope all the moms are watching right now.
Yep.
I just wanted to say, as I was thinking that what we're trying to do is, Chief Porcerelli really takes it, that like education is important, and that's why he wants to do this.
Yep.
Animal control is the responsibility of the Grosse Ile Police Department. The department employs one full-time animal control officer. This individual is responsible for both domestic and wild animals on the island. The governing regulations are contained in our ordinance program. It is the responsibility of the ACO to enforce this program to ensure the health and safety of the community. Hello, we are here in the lobby of the Grosse Ile Animal Shelter with Julie Cordes, our animal control officer. Julie's been with us for approximately 3 years, and she has been the third ACO since 1962 in our police department. Julie, why don't you tell us a little bit about the day-to-day responsibilities that you have here at the animal shelter?
Well, every day pretty much starts here at the shelter. I like to get here as early as possible. We have dogs waiting to be let out, fresh water, food, medicine if necessary. And then I check the cat room, and we usually give the cats some out time and exercise in the main cat room. We also have a quarantine area, and medicine daily for the animals in the quarantine area until they're ready to be moved out into the main cat room. Some days I'll have to take animals to either the animal clinic for scheduled surgeries or maintenance of one kind or another, shots and vaccinations. And we do some vaccinations and testing here as well. On average, we'll have anywhere from 15 to 20 cats, kittens as well. And we have 6 dog kennels. Typically, we'll have 2 to 3 dogs at a time, and it's a continual revolving door. Changes daily, and we've been as full as 6 dogs, which is as many as we can house. And we've had as many as 30 cats in here, which is chaotic and difficult to manage, but we're blessed with wonderful staff and volunteers that make it work. TAILS is the nonprofit that stewards the shelter. They bring in the volunteers.
What happened?
Uh-oh.
Geez, we were just getting to the good part.
More animals. We need more animals.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's...
I can show you some videos of my sailor who came from there.
Anyway, you have an idea of what we're
Yeah.
trying to do. So,
Basically, just to repeat, Chief Porcerelli and the Police Commission believe, it's their philosophy, that it's easier to work with the public if they're educated and the public knows who the officers are and the type of duties that they have. So I think it's one of our commissions, to throw sunshine on what's happening on the island. I don't think there's anything other than the school system, fire and police force in the area. So that said, I'm going to bring Bob up here, and he's got a couple things that he would like to mention. And Bob?
Ted, real quick though, is the whole series called GIPD today?
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, I want to thank the commission and Ted and his crew again for your support. What's unique about this is the stars are the children, parents, and people who work here. So it's been very enjoyable in working with Ted and his crew, very talented people. You don't realize what work goes into doing one of these things in terms of doing the shoots, the locations, the edits. It's amazing how it all comes together. The shorts are part of the program, as we talked about a few weeks ago. Those are going to continue throughout the year. We will be doing, as Ted said, the dive team. We're going to be doing things such as how does a 911 call. We're going to talk about safety-related issues, so that the public can be educated on life-saving techniques and how the police department responds and how, we can work with them. In addition to that, this whole program is built around the major film itself, which was entitled The History of the Grosio Police Department, which, as Ted said, was within conjunction to the 100th anniversary of our township itself. It's going to come out, I think we're second edit now. It's hopefully going to roll out here soon. It's a little under an hour long. It's been shown to a few people. The response was very good. We're hoping that everybody, and especially the public, likes it. We'd like to roll this out, and we're going to do a premiere event. You and your spouses will be invited, are invited, and we will give you the time and the location. The date is going to be the 21st. We have also met with our township supervisor and our manager. We've gone through this idea with them. We have their full support. They did get to see the shorts, and the comments were very positive. So with that said, we're looking forward to rolling this out on the 21st, and we appreciate all the support, and without you and Grosio TV, this couldn't happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not in conjunction with this, but we are also, we have the privilege of a young, I don't know if a young lady, but one of the citizens, Elizabeth Ruck, taped with Joe and I think the minister at St. Thomas, and I can't remember who else is on. I think maybe there's one or two other people. I think Ken Pellin's on there. A nice little, I think it was 20 minute thing called Underage Drinking, and it's well done, edited nicely, and it's a discussion about underage drinking, the cost to it, the pros and cons, et cetera, and we've been airing that now for about 3 weeks. So this is a program that we didn't produce, but I got a request to play it, and it's about underage drinking. Specifically, I think, if I remember correctly, I have watched it once or twice. I think it's encouraging parents not to allow underage drinking, whether they be home or it's in their houses, and basically explaining the consequences of having people drink at their house if something happens and what the law says. So it'd be very good, especially I know homecoming this weekend, and like the parties and the holidays are coming, and parents sometimes take off and leave the kids. And the kids know where the key to the liquor cabinet is, no matter how good you hide it. So anyway, that's also being played right now.
Can you repeat?
Elizabeth Ruck, R-U-C-K, she produced it, taped it, and brought me a copy. So, it's not something we produce, but it's I think very pertinent. So.
And she lives on the island?
You know what? I think so, but it involves St. Thomas pastor in Ken Pellin and Joan Corsorelli, so it's a discussion on underage drinking.
That's great.
Yeah, I think that's, Betty. She runs the video booth at St. Thomas Church.
Okay, but it's a worthwhile program if you get to it. Basically, other than that, other than getting prepared for a lot of winter stuff that's coming up and homecoming this weekend, that's basically what we've been doing. Like I said, we talked about the budget. The airwave has been ordered, and we're moving on. You guys got any questions, any comments?
Have you had any problems with the new equipment?
We had the new, like I said, we were having a little trouble with the old electronics, and the new equipment was installed, and there was a couple, there's about 900 wires back there, one or two of them were out of place, and when I was notified about the consequences, we went back, found it, and fixed it up in about half an hour. So, yeah, there were some problems, audio problems, but once I was told about them, all begun fixed.
Now, how have you been, I know you have a new vendor, and you're very comfortable with the old vendor. How's the new vendor working out for you?
They did a good job. When we were done, I had Angie and Lori and Mike were in. They're the three people that run the meetings. And we had them in, all four of us were trained for 4 hours, so we all got training on electronics, and they were very professional. They did a very good job designing a custom desk for us, and the price of the TriCaster actually came in about $1,000 less than they bid. So after reviewing the bids, we came across, we had some redundant software and some redundant a DVD player and stuff we didn't need, so the bid actually came at $1,000 less than we bid it out, so it came out pretty good.
And you had enough, the 4 hours was enough training?
Yeah, we're running it for what we're going to use it for. We're going to use it for switching and graphics. We are in the process every week of building more graphics for the show, a lot of meetings, so we're probably halfway through that process of building better graphics, and that's working out. The other thing that I haven't announced officially, but we are working very hard, especially Angie, and we got some training from Granicus last week. If you go to the archive page, we are now trying to get every agenda listed there. And as soon as we get it, we're trying to list the agendas if we get them in advance. And we are learning, and learning curve for me is steep, but Angie's taken to it like a fish. But we are trying to tab the meeting, and by that means the agenda is, when you watch the meeting, the agenda is going to pop out under, I think it's underneath the meeting, and you can go to a specific agenda item, click on it, and that part of that meeting will pop up. So in this meeting, Angie's back here trying to tab this meeting. When you said cable, discussion, click on it, and it'll skip everything that was said beforehand and go right to the cable administrator's report. All right, and then when I'm done, you go to the next agenda item. We tab it at that point. I'm still in the process of trying to find a small screen and a small computer, because right now Angie's actually doing that from my office, and we're going to try to set it up. It's pretty tight in there. We have tons of equipment in the control room, so we're going to try to get a system where they can do it in the control room. It actually takes a third computer or a third screen. So I haven't announced it because we aren't doing it for all meetings. We're working towards it, but we are concentrating right now on the township board. So most of the township board meetings are being tabbed, so it makes it easier for the consumer to go to it. That's just another service. When we upgraded to the Granicus last year, this is one of the benefits that we can offer to the public.
Ted, when you talk about another screen, do you mean like a monitor like this, or an actual television, or?
That's a dinosaur.
I know.
Yeah, we're trying, I think we're going to get a little small notebook screen, and we'll put that in there. It just takes a screen and a mouse, because basically you just go to that. Once we put the agenda up on the page, when it comes up the meeting, you just click on that agenda item and it tabs it to the other side. Yeah. So, like I said, my learning curve is a lot steeper than Angie's, and Angie's been doing that. So that's another thing that we've been working on the last 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Are we just going forward, we're not going to try to go back to the beginning?
In order to go back, first of all, we got 150 meetings listed there. We're not going to go backwards on it. We're going to just start from this point. And the other thing, as you guys, you're working diligently on the new webpage, we're going to hold off as soon as the new webpage is designed. That page will be redesigned for us by Granicus, and we're going to make it easier to read, and we're going to tighten it up, all the meetings, so that they're under one heading, and you can click on 2011, that'll drop out, and you can click on cable, that part will drop out, so there'll be some drop-down menu that, right now, when you go to the page, you gotta scroll all the way down, and like I said, there's probably 150 meetings there. So, we are starting to utilize all that new technology, but it takes time and there's some complications, so.
What about, I know we had this issue with the clerk's office has their own minutes area, and are we still using both, or is...
Yeah, we're still using both. I haven't even addressed that.
Okay.
At some point, there is a cost cutting measure that can be done. In the process of getting this education last week, they showed us how that we can download the minutes, and we might be redundant and start doing it just so that we learn how. One of the reasons that it'll probably be prudent to take a look at that is, like I've been telling people, there's going to be an annual cost now for our webpage, and it's going to be, right now we pay about $400 or $400 plus for lease of the encoder and the archiving, and then Revise is going to have a monthly fee to host our webpage, and then plus the service that the clerk's office uses, so it's going to be, I haven't crunched all the numbers, but it's going to be in the $12,000 ballpark per year to have, a cost, and that doesn't include, I don't know what we pay for the services for the real estate and that software. I'm sure there's a fee there, so.
Oh, the stuff Ann has?
Yeah, so our webpage is not going to be free. Before, we would pay $400 a month for, somebody to maintain it, and then when it came to me, there was just a cost, cost of my time to do it, but the webpage now is going to have a substantial line item in our budget, so, like everything else, it's not free, so.
You guys should pay for, hopefully.
Just so you know that'll be coming down the pipe.
Anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Thank you, Ted. Okay, my report. Well, we have been working on the webpage. I did meet last month with the entire management team that was available and told them of our plan. 2 letters have gone out. One, suggesting that they get going and looking at reviewing their pages, and the second one reminding them to review their pages. So far, we have had response from 4 departments, none of which have been the really large departments yet. So I'm looking forward to receiving information from the bigger departments, and within a week or so, there'll be a 3rd and final reminder, and then we'll start taking the black pen and seeing what goes on. Yesterday, I received, and you have it in your packet, the questionnaire for the design questionnaire, and which we have to go through as a department, as a commission. And we'll set up, and I included it, and I'll send it out to our missing attendees tonight. And I'd like you, as you're filling this out and looking at it, go to the websites, go look at them. I've been spending hours and hours looking at different websites, and especially the mobile sites, and I can't stress that enough. Everything I've been reading recently is saying how Neiman Marcus, all of their online purchases, the majority of them, they're done by mobile. People are walking away from their laptops. They're using tablets and their handheld smartphones. We are right on point with this. I'm very glad that now is the time that we've addressed changing the website. Had we done it earlier, we would still have to redo it, and all that money would have been for naught, because everything is moving so much to the mobile. So take a look at this, and we'll set up a study session so we can actually look at what colors you like, color schemes, and I can't suggest that more. Go to places you like, see what they have, see what's new, see what's inventive, and see what will work for Grow Seal. And, as always, we welcome any input from the community. Also, speaking of input from the community, one of the things I've been doing during the past month is looking for digital images that reflect Grow Seal. We have a capacity now to do carousels. We no longer have to have those 3 little pictures and be stuck with them. We can have, 70, 80 pictures going through a carousel. And if you look at the newer places like Aspen and places like that, they all have carousels of beautiful vignettes of their location. And it's so I went to the Yield Camera, and they were so generous to let me spend hours with their editor, Lena. And I got about 150 pictures that are beautiful. We can use more, and my point in this statement is, if the public has some beautiful pictures of Grow Seal, and they have to be Grow Seal centric, it can't be just a beautiful picture of your child picking a flower. We have to know where the flower is being picked. We need things that say Grow Seal in front of the police department, down Macomb Street, the soccer games, whatever it is. If you have some really great pictures, maybe the 4 seasons of Grow Seal, please send them. Ted is going to set up a stick on his computer, and I'll have a flyer coming up in a day or two, and just send it to him, and we'll archive it. We'll give you, credit to make sure it's not, copyright infringement, and we'll include that in our review. And Leslie, I'd like to do this as most efficiently as possible. I'm going to set up a Dropbox for the commission so that we can go to the pictures and everybody can see the same ones. And so I'll be doing that probably within a day or two, so everybody can review it, put a little flag on what you like, what you think might be impressive, what best reflects the flavor of Grow Seal. Because that's what we want. When people look at this, we want them to feel like they're home with us. This is our home. We love it here. We want to share it with everyone. We want to feature things that are unique to our area, Grow Seal. So I want to go through that and be very firm about that. I also got a call from one of our commissions regarding a survey. And they were wondering if we could do a survey on the website. And I said we had one going on, and we didn't have a lot of participation when we did our own, and that was through channels. So after the discussion, they feel that they're just going to go over to Kroger's and stand outside and ask some questions and get what they want. And I said maybe that they need the touchy-feely, they need the personalization. Because as I told Mrs. Nielsen, she said, well, people want to communicate one-on-one. I said, well, they also will do it if they're your friend, and they'll tell you the truth, but they will stop because they know you, and so they're going to do that, and I thought that was good. But I also told her that if they want it on the website, we can put it up. We'll do whatever we can to encourage them to have response digitally. So that was another thing. I mentioned the lockbox. Okay. Now, lastly, as part of the Communication Commission, I look around on the internet, and I looked on the Grow Seal Civic issues, and it was September 1st, and it said they were pleased to see that Grow Seal TV was airing shows produced by Wyandotte Cable that might be of value to the Grow Seal community. Expanding the breadth of broadcast offering to our systems is long overdue, considering the $100,000 in taxpayer funds that are budgeted every year for this department. And I'll continue on, and then I'll point out a few things that perhaps need to be clarified. The first attempt, Downriver Rescue Connection, dealing with the animal care and adoption, has been broadcast this Labor Day weekend. Unfortunately, there was no sound. Our suggestion, it would be far more enjoyable programming if GITV ensured that there was audio to accompany the video. For those viewing pleasure, it's enhanced by sound. The Downriver Rescue Connection program slated for broadcast can be viewed online, and they gave a YouTube. Well, first off, the $100,000 budget for the Communication Commission is not taxpayer funds. It is cable franchise revenue. There's a big difference. If people stop watching cable, which they are, eventually that might just go away. Taxes don't go away. I don't know any taxes that go away. So we are not using taxpayer dollars. We are using franchise fees. And so I looked into that a little bit further. My background is finance. And I thought, how long have we been getting it? It's been at least, I think, 14 years. And I looked at the fiscal years, and Ted, if you could put this up on, you've got a copy of it, a Communication Commission franchise fee history. Starting in fiscal year 1999 through 2000, and going through 2012 to 2013. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years. The total franchise fees that have been collected from Comcast WOW, AT&T, Comcast Online, and then there was rounding $2 because everything has to tie. I'm kind of neurotic about that. Was $1,923,203. That's a lot of money. And the money, the general fund contribution from that was $525,867. So over the 14 years, on average, the franchise fees that were collected because of WOW, Comcast, AT&T, 27% on average were given to the general fund to help support the community. So I want people to understand that. Last year, we gave back 55%, and the year before, about 44.76. So I hope the civic organization will make a note of this. I'm sure they're watching, and perhaps they will make a correction and say where the money comes from. Because remember, franchise fees are only here as long as we have cable. And we all know things are moving away from cable. We've had discussions about that numerous times, and so I think they should notice that. And then they said the first attempt of the Downriver Rescue Connection being a shared production. And Ted, tell me, how many years have you been doing shared productions?
We've gone along, and I've been here probably on 16 years now, and we have, as often as possible, worked with other communities. We've done simulcast with cables, other cable stations on football games. We've taken meetings from Wyandotte, Woodhaven, and River Rouge. We've had programming that originated in Garden City and Lincoln Park. We've tried even one Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving or Halloween, just for fun and yucks. We got some movies, old movies that were for public domain, and the people that hosted it were from Pikesville, Kentucky. So we got, we worked with, them out of that city. So we have done numerous attempts. Recently, we have been doing a lot of things with Riverview. We've been airing some of the programming that they do in Riverview, and this project that we talked about today, we're borrowing Riverview's high-definition camera to get it done. So because we don't have a HD camera, so we've been working. It's not been every day, it's not been every month, but we off and on as I see programming from other communities. I'm aware of programming from other communities. This animal rescue program was actually suggested by our liaison at a township board meeting probably 3-4 months ago, and then I chased it down and found the producer, and she brought me a bunch of cool things. So we have tried whenever possible to bring interesting programming here and work with other communities, and we also, some of our, when we tape a ball game or we tape something of interest to other communities, we passed bicycle. We've used program out of when I first got here, out of Southfield, so we've used other programs.
So that was another error, and I'm not being critical, but...
And just to add to what Ted is saying, it's actually something encouraged by the governor, right? He wants community municipal departments to share and coordinate, and not only resources, but programming and people.
Well, I don't want to make a big issue out of this, but I'm a firm believer that one of the things that makes this community great is that people work together and they accomplish things by working together. For instance, police department's philosophy of working with the citizens to make it a safer community. A lot of times there are problems out there. I've made problems, my health has made problems, I have made mistakes, and we are only aware of if somebody gets on the phone. They don't even have to say their name, to say, hey Ted, the sound on Comcast was not working this weekend, can you look into it? And we will get right onto it. If it's a Comcast problem, we call technicians out. If it's our problem, we check all the wiring the next day and stuff like that. So, but to publish it a week later and not let anybody know, I think it's the height of your responsibility, because that problem could have been fixed Monday instead of a week from Monday. And as soon as, I promise you, as soon as I became aware of it, we spent that evening behind the concert finding out it was a loose wire that came out, and we had technicians installing the new equipment. So basically, I'm not blaming anybody, but there was a loose wire. We plugged it back in, and the programming, the sound worked. So what I'm asking for is I'd like to be part of a team. And if something's not working with the communication system, drop me a note, send me an email. You can always put it on my phone, and we'll get at it. I don't think it does us any good. I don't think it does anybody any good just to criticize it. My long dear daddy told me if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So that's the way I look at it, and I hope for the near future that we can have a more cooperation between the citizens and at least my part of the township government.
Excellent point, and I'm just pointing out, in the way I know how financially, to say, we're doing what I think is a yeoman's job. I think you're doing a great job, and if there are mistakes, to err is human, and we'll go forward, just like their mistakes, to err is human, but now we've clarified them, so that everyone knows, and you have said this repeatedly, franchise fees, and they can come and they can go, not like taxes. So move on from that. Excellent. Okay. Let's see now. Okay. And let's talk about the status, the progress of the new website. We already did some of it. I'd like to set up another meeting, but I would think it would probably be November or December, and I think we'll look at everything to bring to the table as far as the colors go, the themes and things like that. I'll be rattling the cages to get all of the pages, and then we'll have our meetings. Once we meet with Revise, it'll be like a month and it'll be done, but we have to make sure that we write what we're going to present to the board.
I don't know if you have these, this data here, but you mentioned some of the bigger departments haven't reported to you. I have probably my neglect is forwarding it. The clerk's department reported to me that they are very happy with what they got presently. DPS told me that they're very happy with what they got, so they haven't reduced any pages. And I personally went over and did the rec department form, and they have 64 pages, so I don't know if you want to include that.
I have not seen that. Okay, great. Great. So, okay, well, I'll go through the list and see who's left, and then we'll send another little reminder.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Ted, when you get that kind of information from those departments, when yes, they're happy with their pages, are they also recommending things that they might like to highlight or prioritize, or are they just basically saying keep it as close to what we've got? Is that what you mean?
The question is that we have a finite amount of pages in our contract that we can have on the webpage.
Yep.
And I think it's 180, 190.
182, I think.
Okay, 182. And what we are looking for is pages to eliminate, not links to eliminate, but pages to eliminate. And Basically, both of those departments just let me know that they didn't want to eliminate any bridges.
Okay.
So, what, I have told Kathy this, so this isn't news to her, but one of the things the managers do want to do, they want to have some kind of initial powwow discussion. They want to kind of let their ideas out, and then the designer can do with them whatever he wants to, but they would like to be, at least initially, as part of the process. So Kathy's been working diligently with playing ping pong with our provider, and so I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't have to happen, but the managers would like to, you know, at least have some say. And so I don't know if that'll happen, then you can include that in future meetings.
Because I'm sure they're watching tonight.
Well, and the more, I guess, the more buy-in they have, the better the product will end up.
Well, as I told Kathy, I'm afraid that no matter how well our provider does, if the managers don't feel part of the process, they'll have a natural reason to thumb their nose or find fault with it. But if they are at least heard and their ideas are adopted or not adopted, you know, I'm not saying we have to dictate, I'm just saying at least they want to at least be heard. And I think they'll be far more receptive to the end product if they were at least heard at the beginning.
And I did have a conversation yesterday. He would prefer it going to writing, but now I think we will make a little bit more of a push on that, because we do want the employees to buy into it. We want them involved. We want them to feel it's their website too, because they're going to be updating it. They're going to be putting things out, so I will push on that definitely. Anybody else? Okay. New business, the New Island Eye. I received information from Mrs. Frucci. She would like to do another one. I'm going to contact Sharon. She said she was interested, and maybe we get them together and have another Island Eye episode. It seemed well received by the community. Pam was always delightful, and she and her husband, so I'll pursue that. And on old business, Wi-Fi for Waters Edge Marina, a follow-up with the Rec Commission. I forwarded all the information from our last meeting, and I did hear from Mr. Swales, who was the Marina liaison, and he said he was going to present it. Unfortunately, he was not at that meeting, so they didn't have a discussion. So I pursued it further and talked to Mr. Malvesto. And, you know, he and Tom and I know each other pretty well. He's a great guy, and he was you know, saying, well, Kathy, what do they do at the state marinas? I mean, I don't think they have it. And I said, you know, I don't know. So I looked into it, and I sent an email to everyone. They started having Wi-Fi at 2 of the state marinas on Labor Day. And they're the first 2 being offered in the entire country in Michigan. And there is a fee, but as everyone knows, Wi-Fi comes in with fee, and a year the fee's gone because everybody's going to be competitive. And so Michigan is the first ones, and they started in Labor Day. So we are right on board. If the rec department, as I told Tom, I said, whatever you guys decide, you'll decide, but be assured that you will have it. It's just a matter of when you're going to have it, when you want it, because everyone else is getting it, and it's a way of bringing people in. And on that line, on that vein, I started calling a number of the municipalities, which I have a problem doing. I do that all the time. I called Gibraltar and Southgate, I don't know where else, Woodhaven, Trenton, Wyandotte, Flat Rock, Riverview. And I spoke to a lot of the IT people there and how they handle things. Do they have Wi-Fi? Do they offer it to the public? And I think anywhere people congregate, they are now offering it. Somebody's paying for it, because it's I mean, you even get it at Kroger's now. I mean, and the Island Coney. I mean, I just can't get over where Wi-Fi is offered. And going back to the marina, which we want our marina to be a jewel, and part of the jewel is having amenities. So I looked down the street at Pier 500. Guess what? Under amenities, Wi-Fi. So again, I think it's something coming. They will address it. They didn't at the last meeting because Mr. Swells was not available, but I think I'll attend the next one if I can and have more discussions. But it's very encouraging to know that we were right on board with this and right in line with what the state of Michigan is doing, and they are leading the entire country. So that's kind of exciting that we're doing that. So just as a follow-up, as I said I would. Lastly, our next commission meeting is supposed to be November 13th. And Ted, you are not available on the 13th. So you being so important, I was wondering if we could reschedule a week early on Wednesday? Keep it on Wednesday for everybody?
That's fine with me.
Is that okay?
I think that's the 6th.
It's the 6th, and do we have a motion?
I would move that our next commission meeting be held on Wednesday, November 6th, 2013.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And none opposed. And then, so we will now have our next meeting on November 6th. I'll send out a reminder to everybody, and that way, Ted, you can participate. Is there anybody who has anything else to say? That being said, motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned at 8:15.
8:15.